Switching gears now, a new study found that half of transgender male adolescents have attempted suicide. It's an alarming statistic that is more than triple the attempted suicide rate among teens who are not transgender. Lauren Bell shows us the resources available to help anyone who's struggling.
Kiara Prince has a full-time job and just moved into her own apartment. But the teenager's life wasn't always this full. In fact, it wasn't long ago that Prince didn't want to live at all.
I did almost, try to commit suicide. When I was young, I didn't really have nobody to really be there for me to help me through that process.
Luckily, she was able to find help at the Covenant House. And for the first time in her life, she felt love and acceptance.
It's way easier now. I'm more comfortable, more people are more comfortable with me.
But not all teens are so lucky. A new study found that transgender adolescents attempt suicide at a much higher rate than teens who are not part of the transgender community. 51% of transgender male adolescents reported at least one suicide attempt, with 30% of transgender female adolescents reporting the same. That's compared to only 8.6% of teens who do not identify as transgender who attempt suicide.
Tragic, sad, mad.
Jim Kelly is the executive director of the Covenant House, and he was troubled by the study, though sadly not surprised. 13 of the 14 transgender teens in his program attempted suicide in the past. He works to make sure all teens, regardless of their race or gender identity, feel supported. It's a simple and obvious reaction, but one that transgender teens often can't find within their families, schools, or communities.
Our youth that we serve that are in the transgender population have gone through an enormous amount of bullying, exploitation, isolation, all things that can trigger depression and lead to suicide.
For transgender teenagers feeling alone and isolated now, there are ways to find people to accept you the way you are. Prince says to keep going until you find the support you deserve.
You can't live for nobody else, you have to live for yourself.
Lauren Bale, Eyewitness News.
And the Covenant House accepts any child or teenager regardless of your gender identity. Their doors are always open. For more information, head to our website, WWLTV.com.